When I started Ranch Hands Rescue, I wanted to save special needs animals because at the time in 2008, typically they would just euthanize them. And when I heard that, I thought, those animals are kind of like me. Most of you know that I'm a survivor of rape. I spent 12 to 13 years as an addict, homeless by the time I was 20. I realized these animals were helping me with my trauma. I felt that we could partner these animals with individuals who have suffered sexual abuse or sex trafficking and help them. We developed a program that utilizes equine and animal-assisted counseling. When the governor called and asked to convene a group of individuals to determine if there was a problem with boys and young men being sex trafficked in Texas, we then decided to open the first safe house in the country for young men that have been sex trafficked, simply because there wasn't one. Bob's House of Hope is the first safe house in the country for young men that have been sex trafficked. The myth is boys can get away, and it couldn't be further from the truth, because they control these young men by drugs. They beat them into submission. Every 9 minutes, a boy is sex trafficked. Think about that. And there is this sick underground world that now we're finding out, doing our research with the FBI, 33% of those boys interviewed have been bought specifically just to be hurt. Whether it's burned with cigarette butts, breaking a bone, embedding glass in them.
We have young men who have gone through hell and back. These predators, they know exactly where to go to get the kids. I've seen them where they've actually asked, I want a redhead little freckled boy between 9 and 11 years old. Can't even imagine having my grandsons put in that kind of situation where you're being sold to literally 5, 6, 7 men a day. Not a week, not a month, but a day.
We have got to start to educate the public on what a critical issue this is, that it's happening in every city, in every county, in every state around the country, and in every country around the world. You have to ask yourself, if this is happening right under our noses, what are we doing about it?
When it comes to sex trafficking, it is not talked about enough with men and boys. A lot of people don't want to help this population because of that stigma, that men can take care of themselves and that they don't need that help, but obviously they do.
I came to Bob's House of Hope about 6 months ago. I've been trafficked basically my entire life. I've also experienced torture very frequently. There aren't a lot of places where people like me can go to. Getting here has basically saved my life. Groups like the one I was stuck in, they don't really let you go. Before I got here, I was extremely erratic and not the nicest person because of what I was going through. But now that I'm here, I'm a lot calmer and kinder. Working with the animals has also been helpful. It's been nice getting to form connections with them. Because of this place, I can actually start to heal and hopefully live at least a somewhat normal life after what's happened to me.
We do this work because we actually genuinely, deeply care. It is our calling, it is our purpose. The individuals in our care, they are the most vulnerable individuals in our community, and they have been harmed in the deepest, most horrific ways, and often repeatedly for years. The result of that is what we call complex PTSD. And complex PTSD is when traumatic events happen over and over and over, and it becomes part of your identity. It becomes hard to see yourself as more than a victim of the trauma, as something other than what has happened to you or what people have told you you are. It's horrific.
The young guys that I work with, we know that they come from a background of high acuity trauma. Young guys who have basically had to live in survival mode from the time that they are a child or adolescent. And because of that, a lot of their own development has been disrupted. They have experienced abuse, they've experienced sexual assault. They put all the blame on themselves and they feel like they should have had control over what happened to them. And getting them to understand that they weren't at an age to really fully even understand what was going on. That process is long, and it's hard for them to get to the place to want to accept that they have been sexually assaulted, that they have been put into an organized crime to sell them for money. And that's not an easy thing to accept.
They've been forced to have sex with men, some animals in some cases. They've been tortured. You're dealing with a tremendous amount of shame and guilt and things that you and I can't even comprehend. Society has turned their back on them.
They come in with most of them have hoodies and don't look at you, and they keep their faces covered. That's when they first arrive. After a couple of weeks or so, they'll actually greet you if you say, hello, good morning. And then you get to the point to where I was getting out of my car yesterday. 2 of the boys just came up. Can we help you? I see that as healing. And of course, now a couple of them, they see me come in and run to the car to give me hugs. So that brings such joy to my heart.
The vast majority of those who are doing the harm are Americans. It's Americans harming other Americans in our own communities, being trafficked, being sexually abused, being drugged up, being tortured. And when I say tortured, I mean being bought specifically to be beaten. When that has been your life experience since childhood, you have to have total wraparound care and support from a group of people who understand what trauma is, what it means, and how to recover from it. We deal with horrible, horrible injuries that these individuals come in with, and they've never been treated.
When these kids come to my office, there's a sadness there. They have been treated like anything but humans. It really touches my heart to know that something as simple as giving them a smile is something that can change their life. And that's what I would encourage people to open their hearts. If you feel like you're being called to give, do not hesitate to do it. You will have no regrets in doing so.
A lot of the residents don't have parents, or if they did, their parents sold them. When I come in the morning, they'll come give me a hug or pinch me on the ear. And I let them do it because these boys had never been shown love. And it's important to teach the boys how to love with healthy boundaries.
To watch them heal and to be able to give them that unconditional love tempered with teaching them about healthy boundaries and that it's okay to love themselves. We have to be able to elevate them in a way that they've never had before, because otherwise they don't have a chance at life. This is restorative work. I think with all my heart that the first thing we have to do is to put God in their life. And that's why you see that 25-foot cross when you pull into our gates. I wanted everybody to know that this is a place where God is present.
Working here, there is a lot of heavy stuff that we have to deal with on a sometimes daily basis. And there have truly been nights that I have left here and had my own feelings about things that have happened. But, you know, then I go home and I stare at the stars and I say my prayers for them. And that's usually what gets me through.
Unfortunately, because this is such a dark subject, people don't want to recognize it. They don't want to acknowledge it. This thing is real. They are searching for children to have sex with them. Just because you don't want to accept it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
As you look around the property, you'll see this beautiful 40-acre facility, which needs a lot. We need trees, we need bushes, additional housing, and we want to build a chapel because I believe with all my heart that these boys need a place to pray. But we are completely debt-free, and we don't want to add any debt because we have too many boys to take care of, and of course our staff. So as donations come in or we receive funding, that's when we do the upgrades and the modifications.
With your help, we will be able to expand these services that we already provide to include minors. We've got space here. We've got room to add 50 more beds. With the funding, we can do it. We can ramp up with staff, we can build the buildings, we can bring hope, but we can't do it without you. So if you would please help us, make a connection, make a donation, come volunteer, get connected with us, reach out. And at the very least, if you see something, say something, and please know that sex trafficking does happen to boys too.
People ask me every day, why do you do this? The simple answer is that it's the greatest thing I've ever done, helping people. As we open for minors, I can't even begin to tell you, this is the biggest undertaking that I've ever had. I can't do it without your support. I can't do it without your help. So I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video, to learn a little bit about Bob's House of Hope and the human trafficking of boys and young men. And what I would say is, whatever you can do to help us, we would appreciate. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your kindness, and thank you for taking time to watch us.